Hello everybody, once again, this is AikawaKazu and welcome back to another video here. This will be a short one where I'll tell you guys more about the Crusader revamps, alright? And the reason behind doing this is so that we can do a compare contrast with the upcoming Guardian revamps, I believe coming next Tuesday after the 1.2k bug patch for Dragon Southeast Asia. So this is to showcase, or this is to have the benchmark for the Guardian revamp later to know how much or how not much better or how worse is it compared to the Crusader revamp. But before we go to that, here we want to make sure that you guys understand a bit about the Crusader revamps. Alright, here I have Tank D right, a Crusader who is going to be a Guardian after the revamps. This will be the character that we'll be using here. We'll first talk a bit about the revamps here. First thing first will be the level 65 passive here. Alright, Magical Blessing. Whenever a target is hit by a light attack skill or light attribute skill, the character will get a buff for 5 seconds and also increases your weapon attack by 10%. And when this happens every time, which can only happen at every 0.5 seconds, your Electric Smite or Electric Smite EX cooldown will be reduced by 1 second. So Magical Blessing is one of those revamps where you can help your Paladin be able to spam Electric Smite because the cooldown for Electric Smite is reduced by 1 second every time Magical Blessing procs. Alright, and how do you keep proccing it? Very simple, Secret Hammering. Alright, Secret Hammering, light attribute. The changes to it is that it gives you 20% light attack increase at level 11. I believe, if I'm not wrong, level 1 gives you 10% and every level from 1 gives you a plus 1% and 11 will give you 20%. So to showcase to you guys here, I have my light attack at 39.28 base with Secret Hammering, bam, 59.28%, you can see a plus 20 here. And with Conviction Aura, bam again, I have 89.28% solo light attack Crusader. Alright, how do I get my 39.28%? 4 light ECJs as well as the skill Downing Ring here, both crafted with the 3.54% light attack. So I get 39.28 base plus 50%, 89.28 light attack Crusader, done. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about here, just a quick quick run through of the other changes. Holy Relic now has a physical attribute as well. So this is why you see Holy Relic having a double hit damage. Alright, it will hit for 2 types of damage here, but they both have the same board damage. And what else? Armor Break here, Armor Break debuff. Right now Armor Break gives you a 39% damage debuff at level 10, 11 is 40%, the debuff lasts for 16 seconds, alright, but Armor Break cooldown is 10 seconds. So you can keep the Armor Break debuff, the damage debuff here, up 100% of the time as long as you can hit your Armor Break every time. Of course, the next question we will go to is the item build. Oh, sorry, one more thing that I didn't mention here. Force Hammer. Force Hammer now gives you a plus 330% strength and intelligence increase, and this buff lasts for 20 seconds after you use Force Hammer. Alright, so it's to make it balanced to Divine Avatar, but Divine Avatar is still better because you're invincible for 20 seconds and you get a vitality boost of 110% as well, which means your heal, which is based off your max HP, will also heal for a lot more as well when you are under DA. So this is for those people who do not know. Alright, okay, so why strength? Alright, if you look at my Crusader right now, I have 22,000 strength. Why strength? Alright, let me just run through the gears first to give you guys an idea what gears do I have. Full rental gears with 9 or rather 8 superior bear Dragon Jades. They changed the name from high grade to superior. Alright, so superior bear Dragon Jades. I have 8, I have 1 intermediate, so a total of 9 bear Dragon Jades and 5 intellect Dragon Jades here, plus 8 fill and shield, again rental gears. And of course rental gears do not have any set bonus here, so I'm missing out on quite a bit of stats here overall. Alright, Heraldry, definitely not the most geared Crusader. You can see I have Divine Avatar, buff duration plus 20%, Judge Hammer damage 20%. I have an increasing Fellowship Heraldry, that's about it. Talisman wise, also quite poor here. Intermediate intellect, health and life vitality. I do not have a bear talisman yet for this testing, so we can call this an averagely geared rental gear Crusader with 89% light attack. Alright, so let's get to why bear. Alright, for those who do not know, Judge Power gives you an increase in magic attack based on your strength. In fact, 46% at level 4. Alright, if you get level 5 with a +1, it's 2% higher. It's not really that worth it, but you get 5 seconds more of your JP. So the correct sequence to using Judge Power is to use your Divine Avatar first. Alright, because it gives you a 330% strength increase off your 22% here. Alright, and then your JP will take 46% of that strength after you use Divine Avatar. And let me just show you guys how much damage it will, how much M attack it will increase from my measly 19% M attack. Okay, one of the weakness here with my YOLO Crusader build, I don't know, keep you guys away from the action any further. Let me just bring in back the better music. Alright. One of the main issues with the DAJP Crusader is that with DAJP, you're looking at 255,000 critical damage stats. Alright. So let me just show you guys casually, now that you cast the debuff here. You can see I have 255% critical damage. I have, can go to 90,000, 91,000 M attack. Alright, so I'm going to show you a basic DPS rotation here. Armor break, 9Z, get all the light debuffs down, charge bolt, charge hammer, and then the holy relic here. So the first thing that is good about DA then JP is that after DA is over, you realize that you still have 21 seconds of DA JP. Look at my stats. I still have 70,000 M attack here, and now that I got debuffed, so that's removed. But you realize that DA lasts for 24 seconds. I have the buff duration plate, plus 20%. And Judge Power lasts for 45 seconds, so that leaves 21 seconds of JP left. And even with 21 seconds of JP left, you realize that I still have 70,000 M attack, only 21,000 lesser than when I had DAJP. So some people say that DAJP build isn't that good because they're just DAJP is new. Without DAJP you don't really have damage. That is the second weakness. Alright, the first one we mentioned just now was the lack of critical rates. If you have 255,000 critical damage, 255% critical damage, what am I saying? But you have no crit rate, that critical damage, that 255% critical damage is essentially not useful at all. Because you don't crit. Simple as that. So for Crusaders going this build, right, the reason why is that good, alright, is because, look at this, I have 89.28% light attack, I have 255% critical damage. That was a mistake, misclick. This means that Crusaders can be very strong DPS classes even if they do not build for final damage. You essentially can focus on light attack and critical damage, plus critical, and then yeah, I would say as good as a character that forgo these two things and went for final damage. Which essentially means that for Crusaders, it is actually not that worthwhile to go FD at all. It is extremely expensive because FD plates are hard to come by, and obviously getting high grade bear Dragon Jades is a lot cheaper. And third stat, strength, third stat, third stat strength. So if you're worrying about the HP problem here, it can be overcome with BDN plus 6 gears, gives you decent defense and decent HP as well. And of course, as you guys have seen just now, my talisman and plates are not optimized, not at all. So there's I would say, is a heartening thing to note. But essentially, without DAJP, your main damage comes from Judge Hammer, and of course Smite, when you can use it, since now you can reduce the cooldown. And of course, because I'm not the best Crusader here, I'm definitely not as good in terms of the DPS damage skills rotations before your DAJP. You can see I'm saving my Lightning Zap for that perfect light, light resistance debuff that I can stack as much as possible. And of course, Judge Hammer has the issue where it disappears when it hits the wall. Sometimes it doesn't. I think it needs to travel like at least 4 rotations before it can actually bounce back off the wall. Not too sure about that. Maybe some Crusaders can tell me in the comments. But usually you want to cast a Judge Hammer into an open area so that it can actually come back to you. If not, I think Crusaders Revamp is pretty strong. Pretty strong. And we will need to see how good the Guardian one is. I mean, look at that. I have 19,000 M attack transforming to 90,000. And then even after DA, I still have 70,000 and that lasts for 45 seconds. Alright, so now we have the debuff over. We can get our DAJP and let's try to do a proper DPS rotation this time. Set. Smite. Charge Bolt. Charge Hammer. And a Holy Relic. And now DA is over, but we still have JP. For the next 15 seconds here. Alright, we just lost it. But I can see the damage is significant with, I will say, very very basic gears compared to how we need to gear some other classes to even achieve, you know, 91,000 M attack status. So I'm not the best Crusader, and but I want to say that I need to do a small confession here. Oh shit, am I dead? Oh my goodness, almost dead. Oh man, every time I was gonna talk about confession, I almost died. So confession is, you see, I'm waiting for the next one. That I actually did this in Miss Nest, this video guide in Miss Nest. Actually, the first one was on a live stream. Then after which I tried to record again on a live stream on a separate day because I didn't find my performance in that video acceptable for even a person that, you know, doesn't play the class. So I'm actually a lot familiar now, much more familiar with the confidence in DPSing when you don't have TEGaming, as you can see. But I still need to be careful though. Oh, okay, the frog's still here. So don't mind me, guys. Don't mind me. But I believe I got the basics down, and since I've soloed the Gardeners on my Gladiator and Crusader, Gladiator and Moonlord, this is actually one of my first few attempts on the Froglin boss as a Crusader. But after many attempts, you know, on the Mistress Tree boss, so I guess it isn't that bad. A lot more confident right now. A lot more confident. Be careful there. Always watch out for the reading stuff. That's the skill that will kill you when you try to solo this boss. It always happens. Alright, we can go for our DHP now with the debuff over. Try to move away. You can see that my Judge Hub is hitting for 1.7 million crits. Heal now. Make it so the DA increase in max HP. Right, DA is over, I need to be careful. Here comes reading stuff. Probably number 2. Oh, no debuff yet. So I'll say if you're a good Crusader, you should be able to still provide some damage while your DHP is down. For sure, for sure. And there's no hurry to actually apply your armor break. As mentioned just now, right? Armor break has a 16 seconds debuff timing, alright? And you do realize that the cooldown for armor break is 12 seconds. So you have like 4 seconds before you need to apply the armor break debuff again. So make sure you be familiarized with your Crusader, I guess, and learn to DPS without your JP. That's something I think as a person that's trying to, you know, learn the Crusader Revamp has been trying to do. I think that's very important. Yeah, you need to know how to continue to DPS even when your DHP is down. And the damage is pretty good with Judge Hammer, at least. And Holy Relic, of course. see I've cast my... Oh wait, my Jackshot disappeared. Alright, we'll try to proc off the next mechanic. And we'll go ahead and use the last DAJP. There we go. Extend to use my Zap though, which is not ideal. Definitely not ideal. For the debuff first. Alright, here we go. We got Zap up. And we don't need to worry about our Smite since we can get the cooldown down with Magical Blessing. Missed out armor break first, my bad. That's a slightly wrong example. Pass sideways. Disappeared again. I guess I shouldn't have him back to the wall. There we go. DA is over. JP is over. Yeah, but there you have it, guys. Crusader, Revamp. Well, not so Crusader, I guess. But again, emphasis here on 89.28 light attack, rental gears, and of course, if you can get the critical rate up, you can enjoy the 255% critical damage increase. Shit, is not good. Let's try to finish him off with a beautiful charge hammer here. Alright, just to show you guys, okay, if I just cast JP first, look at the damage. 32,000 M attack only. This is why I should never cast DA, JP before DA. And I hope that I don't see any more Crusaders casting JP before DA, because you can see that the damage is very, very measly. Holy cross kill. There we go, beautiful Holy Relic EX. And there we go. So please, Crusaders, please do not cast JP then DA, because look at the measly 29% M attack. You could have 90,000, but now you only have 29,000. Alright, don't screw that up, Crusaders. Please, I don't want to see any more Crusaders casting JP before DA. My name is AikawaKazu. Thanks for watching once again. God bless, and I'll see you guys in the Guardian Revamp Showcase. Goodbye.